Hello and welcome to KLM Institute.
Today, we have an incredibly significant topic to discuss: China's decision to build the world's largest hydropower dam on the Yarlung Tsangpo River in Tibet. This bold move has sparked controversy, raising concerns over its environmental impact, the displacement of communities, and the geopolitical implications it could have for India, Bangladesh, and the broader region. So, let's dive right into it. China has approved the construction of a hydropower dam in Tibet that, once completed, will be the largest in the world. With an anticipated power generation capacity 3 times greater than the current record holder, the Three Gorges Dam, this project is set to become a game changer in terms of hydropower production. It will be located on the Yarlung Tsangpo River, which flows through Tibet, and could potentially reshape the energy landscape of the region. The project is being touted by Chinese state media as an environmentally responsible venture, with claims that it prioritizes ecological protection and will contribute to Beijing's ambitious climate neutrality goals. In fact, China argues that the dam will enhance local prosperity by providing a significant energy boost, which can lead to more development in Tibet. However, the reality is far more complex, and human rights groups, environmentalists, and experts are sounding alarms over the potential consequences. One of the most pressing concerns is the displacement of local Tibetan communities. China has built several dams in Tibet over the years, and these projects have often resulted in the forced relocation of local populations. The Yarlung Tsangpo Dam is expected to be no different. While Chinese authorities insist that resettlement and compensation will be managed appropriately, past experiences, such as with the Three Gorges Dam, have shown that millions of people can be uprooted from their homes to make way for large infrastructure projects. The Yarlung Tsangpo River, also known as the Brahmaputra in India and Bangladesh, is of immense significance. In Tibet, it's referred to as the Yarlung Tsangpo, and it flows through one of the most unique and ecologically diverse landscapes on the planet. The river is not just a vital source of water for Tibetans, but also for millions of people downstream in India and Bangladesh. Its journey takes it from the Tibetan plateau, where it originates, to India's Arunachal Pradesh and Assam states, and finally, into Bangladesh, where it forms part of the vast Brahmaputra Delta. From a geographical perspective, the Yarlung Tsangpo is an incredibly significant river. It flows through the Yarlung Tsangpo Grand Canyon, the world's deepest and one of the most dramatic river gorges on Earth. Within just 50 kilometers, the river descends nearly 2,000 meters, making it an ideal location for hydropower generation. The potential for energy production is enormous, but so are the risks. The construction of the world's largest hydropower dam would involve drilling through the earthquake-prone Namche Barwa mountain, raising concerns about the safety of such an endeavor. Experts warn that the project could trigger landslides, mud rock flows, and even increase the frequency of seismic activity in the region. However, beyond the local concerns about the environment and displacement, there's an even larger geopolitical issue at play. India and Bangladesh, both countries that rely on the Brahmaputra for water and irrigation, have expressed serious concerns about China's control over the river. With the Yarlung Tsangpo Dam being built in Tibet, China could gain unprecedented control over the river's flow, affecting water availability downstream. The flow of the Brahmaputra is crucial for both India and Bangladesh, as it irrigates agricultural lands, supports fisheries, and provides drinking water for millions of people. If China diverts or restricts the flow of water, it could create a severe water scarcity crisis in these countries. In the context of India, the construction of this dam raises alarms over China's growing influence over the region's water resources. The Indian government has already started exploring its own hydropower projects on the Brahmaputra in a bid to safeguard its water security. In fact, back in 2020, a senior Indian official remarked that India was considering building a large dam on the Brahmaputra to counterbalance the potential negative effects of China's dam projects. This could lead to a delicate and potentially volatile situation, where both countries are competing for control over the river's resources, potentially sparking tensions. Similarly, Bangladesh, which shares the Brahmaputra river system with India, is also worried about the impact of China's dam building efforts on the river's flow. Bangladesh is a country already highly vulnerable to flooding, and any reduction in the water flow from the Brahmaputra could exacerbate the risks of droughts and floods, putting millions of lives at risk. The government of Bangladesh has voiced its concerns over China's plans, stressing the need for transboundary water agreements to ensure fair distribution of water resources in the region. Now, let's address an interesting question. Is China's decision to build the world's largest hydropower dam a sign of progress, or is it an attempt to assert control over the region? On the one hand, this project could be seen as a massive leap forward for China in terms of renewable energy production. It could help China meet its climate goals, reduce its reliance on coal, and contribute to the development of Tibet. On the other hand, the project raises significant concerns about the environmental destruction it may cause, the displacement of local communities, and the potential geopolitical instability it could trigger. China has long maintained that it has a legitimate right to build dams on rivers that flow through its territory, including the Yarlung Tsangpo. It argues that the hydropower project will help provide energy to the region and improve living standards. However, critics point out that the dam's construction could have far-reaching consequences beyond China's borders. The manipulation of water flows could give China a form of leverage over its neighboring countries, which could have serious consequences for regional stability. To understand the full implications, we need to take a step back and consider the broader picture of water scarcity and control over shared river systems. The Yarlung Tsangpo, Brahmaputra, and other major rivers in South Asia form the lifeblood of millions of people. Water is already a precious and scarce resource in many parts of the region, and any disruption to its flow could lead to significant tensions between countries. The fact that China is building the world's largest hydropower dam on a river that flows into two other countries only adds fuel to this fire. The situation also raises the question of whether there is a chance for cooperation between these countries. Ideally, there could be agreements and dialogue to ensure the fair distribution of water resources and mitigate the negative effects of such large-scale infrastructure projects. However, with tensions already high between China, India, and Bangladesh, it's unclear whether this will happen in a peaceful and cooperative manner. The growing competition for water resources and energy could lead to more friction between these nations. China's Yarlung Tsangpo Dam, a game-changer with far-reaching economic, political, and environmental impacts. China's decision to build the world's largest hydropower dam on the Yarlung Tsangpo River in Tibet, set to be the biggest in history, brings significant implications across economic, political, and environmental spheres. Let's delve into these aspects in more detail. Economic impact. 1. Energy production and economic growth. The primary economic benefit of the Yarlung Tsangpo Dam is its potential to significantly boost China's energy generation capacity. Once completed, the dam is expected to produce 3 times the power output of the current largest hydropower project, the Three Gorges Dam. This immense energy production could contribute to meeting China's increasing electricity demand, especially in its rapidly developing regions. The economic boost will not only benefit Tibet but could also provide a clean, renewable energy source to other areas of China. 2. Tibet's development. The project will also bring economic development to Tibet, which is one of China's most underdeveloped regions. The construction and operation of such a large-scale project are expected to generate significant employment opportunities, improve infrastructure, and spur regional economic growth. Tibet could see an improvement in transportation, communication networks, and an overall better standard of living, as energy availability and resources for development increase. 3. Regional energy market. The dam's large-scale electricity production might also provide opportunities for China to export energy to neighboring countries, especially those in South Asia. This could reshape energy markets in the region, potentially leading to greater regional integration and trade agreements. Political impact. 1. Geopolitical tensions. One of the most politically sensitive aspects of the dam is its impact on downstream countries, particularly India and Bangladesh. The Yarlung Tsangpo, known as the Brahmaputra downstream, is crucial for agriculture, water supply, and overall livelihood in these countries. China's control over the river's flow raises concerns that it could manipulate the water supply for geopolitical leverage, a factor that could exacerbate existing tensions. India and Bangladesh already face water scarcity issues, and any disruption in the Brahmaputra's flow could spark conflict over water resources. 2. Sino-Indian relations. India, in particular, has been wary of China's growing influence over the Brahmaputra. The construction of this dam could further strain Sino-Indian relations, already affected by territorial disputes and strategic rivalry. India might respond by accelerating its own hydropower projects along the Brahmaputra, which could lead to an arms race of sorts in the region over water resources. 3. Regional cooperation or conflict. The dam's construction also raises the question of cooperation. While China insists that it has the right to build dams on rivers flowing through its territory, this action could spark calls for regional collaboration on transboundary water management. However, with a history of limited water sharing agreements in South Asia, it is unclear if China, India, and Bangladesh can come to a mutual understanding or if competition for water resources will escalate into broader regional instability. Environmental impact. 1. Ecological consequences in Tibet. The construction of such a massive hydropower project on the Yarlung Tsangpo will likely cause substantial ecological disruption in Tibet's fragile environment. Tibet is home to unique and highly sensitive ecosystems, and any alteration of the river's course or its flow could result in habitat destruction for various species. The Yarlung Tsangpo flows through one of the world's deepest gorges, a region that hosts rich biodiversity. The dam could also increase the risk of natural disasters such as landslides and earthquakes, especially given the tectonically active region. 2. Impact on the Brahmaputra Delta. The dam's potential to reduce or alter the flow of the Brahmaputra River into India and Bangladesh could have significant environmental consequences. The delta, already vulnerable to flooding and erosion, could experience more extreme weather events, both droughts and floods. A reduced water flow could lead to severe water shortages in Bangladesh, which relies heavily on the river for drinking water, agriculture, and fisheries. Additionally, India's northeastern states, including Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, could see their agricultural and irrigation systems jeopardized. 3. Biodiversity concerns. The dam could disrupt the migration patterns of fish species that depend on the river, as well as affect agricultural productivity in the regions that rely on the seasonal inundation of the Brahmaputra. Altered water levels and flow could also harm the wetlands that act as critical ecosystems for bird populations, especially migratory birds. 4. Seismic risks. Tibet's earthquake-prone terrain is another environmental concern. The location of the Yarlung Tsangpo Dam, close to the Namcha Barwa mountain, a high-risk seismic zone, raises concerns about the stability of such a massive infrastructure project. Any potential seismic activity could trigger devastating landslides, mud rock flows, or even dam failure, endangering lives and the environment. A complex and multi-dimensional challenge. While the Yarlung Tsangpo Dam offers significant potential for economic growth, clean energy production, and regional development, its far-reaching consequences cannot be ignored. The political and environmental risks associated with the project are substantial, particularly for countries that depend on the Brahmaputra River. The dam could serve as a powerful tool of control over water resources, which, in turn, could create a volatile geopolitical situation in South Asia. From an environmental standpoint, the long-term impacts of altering the Yarlung Tsangpo's flow could prove devastating to local ecosystems, wildlife, and downstream agricultural productivity. The displacement of communities and disruption of local cultures are equally troubling. As China moves forward with this ambitious project, the international community must engage in dialogue to explore solutions that ensure fair and sustainable management of shared water resources. The full consequences of this dam may not be known for years to come, but its ripple effects will likely be felt across borders, shaping the future of South Asia's water and energy politics. As we conclude today's discussion, we are left with a complex and multifaceted issue. China's decision to build the largest hydropower dam in the world on the Yarlung Tsangpo River is not just an environmental project, it's a geopolitical one with profound implications for South Asia. The dam could provide a massive energy boost for China, but it also poses significant risks to the environment, local communities, and regional stability. Only time will tell how the situation will evolve, but one thing is certain: the Yarlung Tsangpo Dam project will be a defining moment in the history of hydropower, geopolitics, and international relations in Asia. Thank you for joining us here at KLM Institute. Be sure to stay updated on this topic, as we continue to monitor the situation and bring you the latest developments. Stay tuned, and take care.